Welcome to the Women of Fort Mill, South Carolina. I'm Kelly, mom of 2 teenagers, serial entrepreneur, and lover of all things that inspire and empower women. After years of supporting women on their journeys, I'm thrilled to be here to spotlight the powerhouse women who make Fort Mill so special.
And I'm Leah, mom of a very busy toddler and your go-to financial guru for making sense of money and planning for the future. I absolutely love helping women feel confident in their finances. And together, Kelly and I are here to connect you with the stories, tips, and insights that can help you thrive personally and professionally.
Every week, we're inviting you to join us for a quick 20-minute chat with local female business owners, women who are really changing the game here in Fort Mill.
You'll walk away with new ideas, practical advice, and a deeper connection to the community. Whether you're seeking motivation, actionable tips to grow your business, or just a bit of solidarity and the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, you're in the right place.
This is the Women of Fort Mill, South Carolina. Let's dive in and meet the incredible women here in our community.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Women of Fort Mill podcast. I'm Leah Williams, and I'm so happy that you're joining us today because we have an incredible episode for you. Today, we're joined by one of my dear friends. If you have met this woman before, you know how much of an impact she has in the lives of all the women she comes in contact with. But we're going to talk about something that for a long time has been semi-taboo, especially for women, in talking about this topic. If you have ever wanted to learn more about self-improvement, therapy, talking about some of the things that you think might be holding you back in life and wanting to work on them, Jaymie is the woman to know. So I'll give you a little bit of her background and she can expound on that. Jaymie's incredible. She's a mom of 3, the founder of Growing Mindfully. She's involved in the community, a wife, and so much of what she does is centered around helping women wherever they're at in life. So Jaymie, we're so thrilled to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. What a lovely introduction. I'm not sure I can follow up with all of that. Thank you so much.
Well, all the things are true. And I think that the experiences that we each have in life lead us to our purpose and our calling. And clearly that's been the case for you. Could you share with us a little bit more about why you started Growing Mindfully, what you saw in the therapy world, maybe some needs that weren't being met, especially for women, and just a little bit of your journey that led you to where you are right now?
Yeah, so I've been licensed for like a really long time now, about to age myself. I want to say I'm coming up on 17 years, if the math is correct. And so I worked from New Jersey. I'm licensed in 3 different states, New Jersey, North Carolina, and South Carolina. I worked for a group practice for a really long time when I was having my own children. And one of my experiences very early on with my oldest child, so she's 14 and a half now, was this moment in this class with this other mom. It was a Gymboree class for anybody who knows what that is. I think they're not around anymore. We were in this class and this woman was just going on and we all looked haggard and like tired and had the messy top on and the juicy sweatsuits. That's how old this is. And, this one mom came in looking like literally walked off the runway. Now, and at this point, we had all been together for several weeks, so we knew each other. We all looked and she just was going on and on and on about how much sleep she was getting. And at that point, I had been in the clinical field for some time too. So I was quite observant, right? And my kid never slept until now. Like literally now, all she wants to do is sleep. And I'm like, girl, like you took years off my life because you never slept. But beyond that, I was sitting there and I was observing the other women. And I thought to myself, well, I, of course, said, well, tell us the secret because like, obviously we want to look like you do. Like, she's like, I was so bored. I curled my hair and made muffins. And I was like, I don't even know if I brushed my teeth this morning. And so she didn't have a secret. She didn't say anything. And the other moms just kind of laughed uncomfortably. And I left that meeting thinking so much about why no one said anything but me. And statistically, I can't be the only one who was sitting there going, what is wrong with my parenting, my kid? Why can't I get her to do this so I can bake some muffins and curl my hair? But no one said a word except me. And then the class went on and, whatever. And so I went home. And at that time, we lived in Northeast New Jersey, which is right over the bridge to New York City. So you can imagine all of the resources. And if you need something, like you can get it up there, right? So I started searching like help for women, postpartum period, and literally found no providers. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 sprinkled throughout, but like none. And so at that moment in time, I was like, well, this is bull beep.
Right.
This is baloney. And so I made it my mission to start serving women in all different seasons and stages of their life, whether it's motherhood or not, whether it's trying to become pregnant, which like also, hello, why is that so hard? Anyway, so women have many, many thoughts, feelings, struggles all around the entire thing. And then there's the postpartum period that is like, can be for some like a huge sucker punch. And even if you're having a really great postpartum period, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot that changes and shifts within your dynamic in your partnership, a lot that if you have multiple children or a new baby or you're working and now you want to work only from home, like, I mean, it's just endless. You need support is what I'm trying to say. And to your point about it being taboo and stigmatized, especially if you've worked really hard to have that child, not super spontaneous pregnancy, you don't want to say a word about, I'm not sure this was the right choice. And that is like a very natural, common thought of what the hell did I do? And now I have to do this forever. But also then like liking your baby and trying to connect. And then there's obviously the bigger things where attachment is a difficult point. And so I became a postpartum and perinatal specialist, and that's kind of the history. And then I moved here and then I started growing mindfully, which is now my own practice serving New Jersey, North Carolina, and South Carolina.
Well, you brought up multiple things here that I think most women can resonate with, whether you're a mom or not, but it's this feeling of, I should feel this way. So because I don't, something's wrong with me and I don't have the right to not even complain, but just express how I'm feeling about this thing. I mean, we've all been through it, whether we've had a child or something big in our life has happened and we feel this guilt, for this wonderful thing, right? We brought this life into the world and we should be so happy, and your emotions and your hormones are insane. And so we hear all these people say like, oh, she's crazy, or she's going through postpartum. So there's all these negative connotations that make us feel so bad that it prevents us from seeking out help a lot of times because we already feel bad. Like, I shouldn't feel this way. And so I should be able to deal with this and just grit it out. What would you say to women that have been through? Maybe it's that, or maybe it's a breakup, or one day you wake up and you're just like, I don't even know who I am. Like, what gives me life and fulfillment and joy? We have all felt that, mom or not. How do you help women navigate some of those things?
Well, it's so interesting because that's such a pain point. Some women literally despise the question, like, what do you like? I don't freaking know. And sometimes it's not about children. Certainly rolling into parenthood, there is a transition and a realignment into your mom self and then a reconnection back to your previous mom self. And that does happen, but it does take effort. And sometimes it takes a couple of years, because your hormones are not, like you said, they're going crazy. So you might not be feeling like your best self, period. And you just grew a human and that had to exit your body one way or the other, which for most of us is not the best part. Okay. So, you're healing all of that. You're trying to get back to life, the expectations of society. And so a lot of it is slowing down. And I like to call it like reverse engineering, right? And I'm like in recovery of this myself. Well, I'll get to me when I'm like done with the dishes, when I'm done with this. And then it was like, but I love the end result of having, this organized space or all of my emails checked or, whatever it was, right? And so you have to reverse engineer and put yourself on your own list, like literally like you would take your kid to a dentist appointment. Okay, today I'm taking myself for a walk. Today I'm sitting in silence and journaling. Today I am picking up a book that I may or may not read because I used to love fiction, but now I really like this. Or maybe I'm learning how to paint my nails or bake bread or whatever the heck it is, catch up with a friend. So it's really sort of this integration of where you are and teeny tiny little changes. And I think that's one of the sticking points for women, especially because we are so busy just in general. I mean, families are busy in general today too. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on the man that we love or your partners that we love because I'm not. But we tend to take on a lot of different things. And I think society still expects women specifically, unfortunately, to do all of the things like carry the babies, get them out. If you work outside the home, get back to work in 6 weeks. It's tremendous. And so why wouldn't we feel like, gosh, I've lost myself in this mix, right? But the expectation, whether it comes from ourselves and some unhealed stuff in our past, whether it's from our partners or family, society, or boss, well, I guess I just got to do it. And you kind of scan around and like a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are doing it. And some will tell you how terrible they feel, but a lot of them will save that for really, really close people, or they won't say it at all, because that's the deeper rooted stuff that eventually you peel back the layers in therapy and you get to understand where it's coming from. And then you come to this place of like, oh, actually, I don't have to do it this way. I can create and carve this out. Now, it doesn't always happen lickety split. It does take a lot of process and time and tears and lots of stuff like that. It's not just, well, today for some maybe, but in my clinical experience, it's much more process oriented with slow and incremental changes that are sustainable over time while healing that deeper wound so that the regression or the knee-jerk response to handle things exactly the same way that you typically do is like, whoa, gives you some pause. Well, actually, I typically would do it this way, but I can choose this now and I'm going to do it this way. And then your body's reaction to that. So working in therapy is such a whole person experience. It's not like, oh, you just have postpartum anxiety or you just have anxiety. You just have depression. You just have ADHD. You just suck is what we actually hear with all of that other stuff. There's just one component, and that those components tend to serve something that's a deeper rooted thing.
And because it's many times a deeper rooted belief about ourselves, about other people, I know it can feel, this is coming from someone who is, I mean, you know, there's met with multiple therapists and counselors, and thank God for them, because if we stay that version of ourselves, it limits our happiness. It limits how we show up as a mom, a friend, a business owner, everything in our life. We have now kept ourselves if we don't grow and go through a hard period of working on the things from the past. I mean, you know this about me. I'm the person that's like, okay, let's do this. Let's get it done. Let's move on to the next thing. And sometimes it does require slowing down a little bit so that you get deep to the root, not just pull the top of the weed off and like, okay, it's done. The garden looks beautiful now. You have to go deeper. So for someone like that, that's thinking, I don't know if I have the capacity to go that deep. I want to heal. I want to enjoy, live a fuller life. What would you say to a woman like that in whatever phase that she's in that doesn't pursue talking with someone or starting any kind of therapy process because they know it's going to be hard and require some work and effort?
Number one, I would say, do it. I would say stop putting it off, right? And I would say that it can be hard. You know, my sessions can really look so funny in some days. Like literally, I think if somebody was like eavesdropping in my office, what happens in there? You know, like a fly in the wall. 1 minute they're crying. 1 minute we're laughing hysterical. The next minute somebody says something. We can't even remember how we got to that point. So it's not all just pain and suffering and so scary. And you need to find someone that A, is skilled, but B, you connect with. And when you do that, that person's, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but my sole purpose is to support you. My job, my skill is to understand where you are and where you need to go. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to be like ripping off every Band-Aid second one. And that's my job. And so it's one of those places where you can come, feel supported, and I'm gently guiding you to where you need to go. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to come and be like, oh my God, this thing happened today. And I call those mini fires, and we're putting those out all the time because we don't heal in a vacuum, right? Like I wish. You know, my kids, you've probably heard me say this before, ask me what my superpower would be if I could have one. And mine is always to pause time. And that's so that we can do all the things that we want to do and still not miss all the things, right? Because life is an exchange system of all sorts of stuff, right? So I think that's it. It's like we're not healing in a vacuum. We're not letting go of stuff in a vacuum. We're not forgiving in a vacuum. Literally, while we're trying to work on one thing, something else happens. and it like knocks us off our heels. When you have a support in place, like a therapist that you feel really aligned with and connected with, they're doing that support for you. And so it does feel hard. It does feel scary. There are days where there's tears, absolutely, which by the way is okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel, but you should feel supported along with it. I would say do it. I would say it's not as scary as you think. I would say with the right therapist, you're going to feel so much better. The first step is certainly the hardest, and the second hardest is finding the right provider.
And to know that if you meet with someone and you don't feel that connection, I mean, it's the same in my world too. They have to be skilled, but you also have to feel a connection because you're talking about such a personal, important part of their life. Don't give up if that first person you talk to was not your jam. And that can happen because everyone isn't meant for everybody. I know you're super involved in community and groups of women. Are there any resources or things that people can plug into? What's the best way for them to connect with you, whether it's online or calling or website? What's the best way for people to plug into resources and connect with Jaymie?
Just probably my website, I would say, like Growing Mindfully, and you can send a message. I respond to all of my messages within 24 hours. I am not so great with social media. Everybody who knows me literally knows that. So anything that's like a direct, like a message or something like that is much easier for me.
And we'll have all of your contact info, your email, website, Instagram, even though that's not your favorite, we'll have it in there. So we'll make sure that everyone can connect with you. But any last thoughts for women, especially in this wonderful town that we all live in, Fort Mill? Anything that you would say as encouragement or things that you feel are some tools that every woman needs to have?
Yeah, I think to know you're not alone. I can promise you, you are not alone. No matter how hard your day is, I can guarantee you that somebody else has felt it, feeling it, or will go through it, and it's going to be okay. And it goes back to this thing of like, oh, I don't want to be that mom. I don't want to be that person. But you are not alone. You're doing the best you can with what you know how. And there's literally nothing wrong with asking for help. Doesn't mean you're broken. Doesn't mean that you're not doing it the way everybody else does. It just means you need some help. Like if you needed glasses, after a while, you're going to go get some glasses. Like you don't just have to like not be able to see. Physical pain, people address so much faster than emotional and mental health concerns. And I say it all the time, but you just don't have to do it that way. You can choose to get support. It does not mean anything. It's like anything else that you're going to address and work on. It's just to feel and be the best version of you.
Yeah. Well, and it's admitting it, but at the same time, not having any negative emotion with admitting it, normalizing it, that it's okay. Whether it's, yeah, I need glasses, go freaking get them. Or yes, everyone has things. It doesn't mean somebody has died in your life. It doesn't mean that something massively traumatic. We all have things. Just because we were raised by imperfect parents, we had things happen to us that we never dealt with. We just shoved under the rug. So it doesn't mean that something catastrophic happened. Or in fact, I think every person benefits from having a support, a coach, a therapist. Thank you so, so much. Your expertise, and I think just your presence, your relatability, because you've lived so much of this. Not that you have to live everything to be able to relate and coach somebody on, but I think people feel a sense of connection when they know, man, she gets it. She knows what I'm talking about. I know at least I felt that way as Jaymie has walked me through so many things, whether it's 3 months old rocking my baby and she's helping me via text. But you're so relatable, and I would encourage all of our listeners to connect with Jaymie. I am so grateful for her, and you will feel like you've received a gift in your life if you connect. So connect with her on social. And thank you all for listening and tuning in this week. Please give us a follow on Instagram, just Women of Fort Mill Podcast. You can sign up for our newsletter every week so that you can be aware of amazing women that are coming on, like Jaymie. Get connected with them. And if you loved this episode, share it with some of the other women that you care about so that they can learn more about not only Jaymie, but start to embrace this perspective on getting support. It is not a bad thing. In fact, we need it as women. We would so love it if you share this episode, rate and review the podcast. It helps us bring on more awesome people like Jaymie and reach more listeners. That is it for today. Thank you again for hanging out with us. Until next week, we hope you all have a wonderful week. And Jaymie, thank you again so much for being on. Thank you for tuning in to Women of Fort Mill, South Carolina. We love bringing you the stories of these incredible women, and we hope you're walking away with a little extra inspiration every week. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to rate and review us wherever you listen. It helps us reach more amazing women like you and grow our supportive community.
And for all the latest updates, tips, and behind-the-scenes fun, make sure to follow us over on Instagram, Women of Fort Mill Podcast, and tag us to share what inspires you each week. Plus, join our email list to stay connected, be the very first to know about the new episodes and fun events. Thanks for being a part of our Fort Mill family. We'll see you next week with another inspiring woman right here at Women of Fort Mill Podcast.